Welcome back. This is Akemi Olushola from Tenavacity Reading and Memory Academy. This is a place where we teach what is not being taught in the mainstream academic settings. In the academic settings, there is no curriculum on how to read, understand, and remember. And that is what we are covering on every episode of this live session. The last time we spoke about principle versus method. This is the reason why learning is difficult. Today, we are going to be considering part 2 of the same topic. What we are going to learn today is the root cause behind the difficulty in learning. At the end of this video, you will be able to understand why learning is difficult and the things that you are supposed to know. Quickly, before we move on, let me present this analogy to drive home the point. If you have ever seen an aircraft moving in the sky, you will be wondering that what is the mechanism behind the movement of an aeroplane. Some aeroplanes, they are as heavier as ships sometimes, yet you will see them run through the runway, fly in the sky, and you'll be wondering, how is that possible? There is a law of flight responsible for the flight of any aircraft in the sky. If that law is violated, the aircraft is going to crash, regardless of whichever one, any aircraft. There are laws of flight that governs aircraft. In the previous video, we said principles are universal. They are unchanging. Principle does not respect you. Principle does not know you. It is either you comply with principle or you don't comply. And the moment you are not complying, you are not going to see the benefit of it. Now, method is the varying aspect of what we are talking about. Method refers to strategy or the way with which you have decided to carry out whatsoever that you are doing. That is method. Method is changing, it is dynamic, it is changing, while principle is constant, it is universal. Principle will not bow to your whims and caprices. It does not respect you. A lot of times, people fail in learning in the academic settings or learning a skill of their choice because they do not understand how learning works. Method varies, but principles are the same. For an aircraft to fly, the flying of an aircraft is a copy from the marvel of nature. If you look at a bird in the air that fly, you will see that it uses the power of its wings, the hollow bones in their body, the streamlined body, and the way the makeup of their nature allows them. And those are the combinations that make them to fly. But in the law of flight for aircraft, there are 4 forces that act on an aircraft. We have the drag force that pull it back. We have the thrust that push it to the front. We have the gravity that pull it down. Then we have the lift. All of these 4 forces must be counteracting on the aircraft at once. If any of the force overwhelm any of the 3 forces that is left, then the aircraft is going to crash. There is nothing you will do apart from complying with that principle. So any aircraft that flies obey the law of flight. All the 4 laws, they are acting at once on an aircraft. The same thing applies to a bird that is flying in the sky. All of those forces are acting at once on them. But if you look at the way a war aircraft is going to fly, you can't compare it to the way the passenger aircraft is going to fly. The maneuvering of a war aircraft, the way it can change angle at once, a cargo air flight may not be able to do that. However, they are still fulfilling the principle of flight that makes any aircraft to stay afloat in the sky. The same thing applies in learning. In learning, there are principles you can't violate, regardless of the method you are using. And we look at the 3-box memory model in the last lesson. The 3-box memory model. In the 3-box memory model, it was a model that was propounded by Atkinson and Schifrin. And these men that propounded this law, it is a universal law. Whenever you are learning, If you do not comply with any of this law, your learning will either be ineffective or you will not get anything at all. So today, we want to consider few more explanation on why people learn and learning is difficult for them. We look at sensory memory in the last video. We also consider short-term memory, which is the working memory, and then we consider the long-term memory. Those are the 3 boxes in the 3-box memory model. And if you remember, I said that encoding is very important. Any information that is not properly encoded in your memory cannot be remembered later. A lot of times when people say they do not understand what they are reading, the problem sometimes is because the information has not gone past the sensory memory. As I'm talking now, you are listening to me with your ear and you are seeing me with your eyes. You are receiving what I'm saying. But this sensory memory can only hold information for a short period of time. So that is why the capacity that sensory memory has is very small. And when you pay selective attention to learning, then you discover that the information will move from the sensory memory into the working memory. Because anything that stops at the sensory memory is because it never go beyond that point. If the information will go beyond the sensory memory, then it means that after 1 hour, 2 hours of receiving the information, you can still recollect it. That is the meaning. 1 hour after you receive the information, you are still able to retain the information and recollect it. But if you are told something right away and within 30 seconds you can't remember again, it is because it did not go beyond the sensory memory. The sensory memory was not designed to hold anything for too long, just for a brief moment. If whatsoever you are learning is not going past, what I'm saying now is so important for parents, students in tertiary institution, students in secondary school, school administrator. It's very important. A lot of people are blaming teachers for what the teacher does not even know. What is the problem behind it? And this is the solution we are offering now. People do not understand what they are learning because they don't understand the root cause behind why learning is difficult. If you listen to an information now, and in the next 30 seconds or 50 seconds, you can't recall anything, it is simple. The information does not go beyond the sensory memory. However, if you pay selective attention, it will go into